Okay. Weird shit. December 22nd. Um, Solstice, weird extreme changes and realizations all over the place. Synchrony at its finest, honestly, because this whole last hour of meditation I had was like really fighting, my mind and my heart, like just trying to, distinguish the two as I'm like trying to observe all these thoughts that are happening in my head. And as I was coming towards the end of my meditation, which I was like really anxious to be done with for some reason. I had so many thoughts and so many things I wanted to talk about in this video that it was really inhibiting me from actually like taking the time. So like towards the end of my meditation, um, which I didn't realize was the end because finally I was just like, okay, well, I should not like try and, or, just accept that, this is the time that I need and, the time will come when it's supposed to be done. I was fighting this idea in my head and recognized, I had an idea, which was we need health foods in the public school system so kids can actually sustain themselves and think logically, just because I went out to a buffet tonight with my family and like a whole group of like church going family friends of my parents. And it was supposed to be like a thank you dinner for their contributions to the church over the last year. Excuse me. Ugh, there it is. If you could like smell the room right now, it smells like buffet, which is so gross because it's just been coming out of my mouth and my ass for like that whole like last 2 hours. um anyways, uh so I was like on that just because of like how my body was feeling, and I was starting to think that like because or starting to feel like it was hard for me to tap into my heart because I was so distracted by like the feelings in my body from the food that I ate, and how I really want to make an effort to um, eat healthier. And in that instance, the meal was paid for me, and there was this, the sense of obligation that, I was supposed to eat because we were all there. So I did. And that's kind of like that fear-based place where you just do things to like please people. And that's just like the foundation of my childhood. So obedient was required to be, basically. That standard was set very early on in my life. So, um, yeah, coming back though, I had that idea and I immediately thought, there's no way we could like pull that off. There's no way I could pull that off. And then I thought, like, hey, like, why am I thinking that? Fuck you, ego. And then right as I was saying that, I was like, well, who's saying that? My ego is saying, fuck you, ego. So, like, I just laughed because I knew that, like, all of it was just me. It was like these thoughts that were happening in the space that is my body, in my mind. And I just like, it's like, man, I love all of this. This is just so fascinating. And like, right when I had that realization, the timer went off on my phone. It's just like, what? Totally bizarre. Um, in other news, I feel good about crying. Like, I cried maybe 3 or 4 times today, just over, all the overwhelming emotions that I felt over this breakup and, you know, finding my ex with another girl in bed. And, like, that happened, what, 3 days ago, 4 days ago? It's just like, it's crazy to me how much better I feel after those releases. And it makes so much sense to me now that I've done a decent amount of self-study. I mean, it's going to be a lifetime, so I can barely say I've made a dent, but excuse me. Oh my god. Ugh. Ugh. But now, like, finally making choices that benefit me. I was going to hang out with a friend today. We had plans to go hiking since the weekend, and my body really wasn't feeling it this morning and just trying to put it off. It's one of those instances like Kyle talks about, where it's like, when you like kind of hope your friend cancels, you really should just be the one to cancel. um, And I told him I didn't want to go hiking after a bit, and then still trying to like make time to get coffee, and it was just kind of like back and forth because Nate's kind of like one of those guys too, that's just like all over the place, and that's fine, that's him. Um, but as I was going to meet him for coffee, my dad called me and asked me to be his riding buddy for a carpool trip down to Renton, and decided to do that instead. So I'm just kind of family oriented, and I'm also wired to please my parents. So, um, yeah, I think that was also meant to happen, in that I had the time, instead of going to see Nate, to actually go to the park before meeting my dad and spin my hoop. And that's the first time I've done that all week. And I don't know if I even spun last week. That's the longest I've spun in at least 2 weeks. It was just that half hour. And I don't think I've felt that happy in a long time. Um, just kind of like really letting loose and not even knowing the music that I was spinning to, because I just had new music on my stream that looked good, so I went for it. And man, it like such freedom, like it's just such a freeing feeling. Amazing. Um, so much has happened just within the last 24 hours. Last night during meditation, I didn't get to talk about this in my last video, but last night I meditated after my video. And during meditation, I was thinking about moving to Arizona, because that's just kind of been like what I have my mindset on right now. Just like getting out of here, leaving the past behind in Washington, starting fresh, really like focusing on what I want now and not what kind of like predetermined path has been made for me here. So there has been the thought in my head for years to go to massage therapy school, and not really, your basic massage therapy, more of like different healing modalities with touch. Um, so like cranial unwinding, structural relief therapy. I had discovered through actually getting in a car accident a few years ago, and seeking out a massage therapist. Excuse me. Seeking out a massage therapist that is specialized in structural relief therapy. I just like found that on a whim online, because I was like, what's really gonna like solve my problem? Besides someone just going woo, woo, woo on me. I was so inspired by Molly. Like, she does amazing work, and I really hope to see her again or cross paths with her to let her know of like my growth, because that's when I really tapped into my spiritual sense, when she practiced on me, and you could feel the release without even any sort of like pressure on your body at all. Just like the way that she positions your extremities and certain body parts, and really like releases the energy out of your body through her touch, rather than through sort of any like deep tissue manipulation or anything like that, is just fascinating to me. And when I could feel that, and when my body would just like respond, that's when I knew there was like more to life than just existing. Like there's this infinite energy and this connection within yourself that you can't, like, I know I can't deny. So I was meditating, thought about like, well, like I practice massage just like amateurly on like friends, and I have a buddy who went to massage school, and we like trade massages. Justin, I love him. And I looked up what it would take to become a licensed massage practitioner in Arizona, just like for shits and gigs, and found this website. It was just like on the Department of Health for Arizona, or whatever website I was on, showing the different schools. And Southwest Institute of Healing Arts, just like bam, right there. It's funny because originally I was looking at the Northwest Academy of Healing Arts up here in Washington, but there's something like preventing me from actually like going for it there, because through the research I had done and the information that I had collected, it didn't really appeal to me, in the sense that it was just kind of like your basic cookie cutter massage practice, and then you always do your CEUs to develop your practice, and that's kind of when you can get into more specific modalities and specialties. Why? Grand buffet. Hopefully this will be the last time. Okay, anyways, but I looked up Southwest Institute and found that all of those opportunities to learn those specialties are within the programs they offer. And not only do they have massage therapy programs, they have all different kinds of programs for healing arts, integrated healing arts, mind, body, psychology, urban farming, yoga teaching, all these like different combinations, all these different directions you can go. And it was just like awe-inspiring to me that there is a place where I can study to become the person that I want to be. And it doesn't have to be some sort of like, how would you say, just like some basic career path that's going to give me financial security and this, that, the other. All of that just like came out of my mouth through my dad, because that's exactly what he told me when I was trying to explain my interest in this earlier today during that car ride down to Renton. And I still don't know what to say to him. I mean, like, once I get down there, I know it's going to be like a whole new life. So that is exciting. I heard back from Misty, who is she's the, I think, the program manager, if I remember correctly, for the applied astrology courses that Deborah Silverman holds. And so my name is in to hopefully get a scholarship to study, and told her. And then Kiki, who is a certified astrologer, I met at a book signing of Deborah Silverman's a couple months ago when I first started on this whole like journey of being alone and finding my purpose and trying to discover myself. So I like shot an email out to both of them after I had replied to, or after Misty had replied to me about my inquiry about the scholarship. And I just like, I feel so good to have like support of these people that Kiki I met once, Misty I've never met, but just like to have those connections with people who are just like on your wavelength, like I want that so deeply for the friends that I currently have, because I care so much for them. Some of them, like, I care, I don't feel like I'm as close with, and some I'm being more distant with because I know that, not that they're incapable of like discovering these things for themselves, but just aren't willing in their like place and time to go this route. But for others, I feel like compelled to just like not so much spend more time with them so they'll understand, because I feel like I also bring myself down to the level to try and like match their level of energy. And that's not healthy for me either, which I'm discovering. But I want to come back and just like somehow find a way to give them the inspiration that they need to pursue this journey too, just like on a more serious level. Because some of them, I know they have it in them. Like you can tell in their my interactions with them and what they're seeking and what they're desiring for themselves, not even like for their career or anything like that, or in their like relationships, but just like for themselves, to be completely centered. I'm so sorry that needed to come out. But oops, I still want to be there for them. I know I'm trying to like release myself of my past identities, but I'm a nurturing person, and I was always called squad mama in my last friend group, and I still hope to be there for them somehow in that manner. And this is the direction I want to take it. So if they resist, then that's their call. That's where they're at, and it's not up to me to change who they are. I can only, this is something I had always said. You can only help someone as much as you can, and you can only help someone as much as they'll allow you to. So that's kind of like where I'm at, and what I had, been preaching, trying to finally practice what I'm preaching now, with my relationship with my ex. Finally taking the time and space away from each other to develop as individuals, and I keep on like that heavy feeling in my heart keeps coming back when I remember what he had did, just like already trying to fill the void with someone else. And it makes me sad because I want better for him, and I know now that he was hanging on to me to keep this that sense of self and that sense of love alive. And I know that when he's seeking out these other relationships or whatever he's doing between now and Thursday, um, he's lying to himself. And it's just going to be, I guess, a longer journey for him. I'm trying to meet a new friend on YouTube. I just watched one of her videos. I don't know her name right now, but she's cool. She said, and was quoting actually one of her friends, that it's not really the direct route, and you think about driving a car, it's like the scenic route, and you do put more mileage on your car, but in the end, the journey itself is really beautiful, and it is long, and there can be some windy bumps in the road. Now I'm ad-libbing, but this is just kind of to fit his and my situations. But there are no coincidences in life, only synchrony to me. And when you are in alignment with yourself, synchrony happens in very amazing ways. And when you are misaligned with yourself, it can cause some serious turmoil. So I'm hoping, I can only send good energy now to him, but most importantly, I need to send good energy to myself, and I feel better about that. When I get sad now, I just let myself be sad for that minute, and if I do need to shed a couple tears, I do, and that's such like a more healthy way to go about it, and I feel a lot better about it, just in my body, and I can just go about my day a lot easier when I allow myself to have those moments. So, yeah, crazy stuff. I feel like things are moving really fast, and I'm sure there's never like a summit in this journey, but I'm really excited about the progress here, and just not only the support that I have from the people that I I feel like happy about having the support from, but also like just a little bit more happy with myself. Um, don't eat buffet food. December 22nd.